Donald Trump loves his tax bills like my dad likes his women. Big and beautiful, and do not open that man's laptop without asking first. And while my dad may not want me to expand on that joke, what we can unpack are the Republicans unveiling the text of Trump's big, beautiful tax bill. Because, yesterday we talked about how Republicans released their plan to pay for Trump's legislative agenda by seemingly making cuts to Medicaid that will force millions of poor Americans to lose their health insurance and pay higher healthcare costs. But it's just one element of a much broader package, which again, just so you understand, is literally named the One Big Beautiful Bill. All caps and all of which has been published in full. Now, notably here, the proposal that House Republicans made public yesterday, it is nearly 400 pages long. So obviously, I'm not gonna be touching on everything. But I do need to hit on some of the key elements that Republicans are proposing here. So first off, as expected, a huge part of this legislation is the more than $4 trillion in tax cuts, and specifically the extension of the 2017 tax cuts made under the first Trump administration. While Americans from nearly all income levels will see the impacts, it's the wealthiest people and corporations that are gonna reap the biggest benefits. But according to the Center for American Progress, aka CAP, the bill would, quote, give millionaires a $68,000 tax cut and give households in the top 0.1% a $300,000 tax cut, while raising taxes or doing nothing for 33 million working class households. Then there are also several new policies aimed at helping more working class families. For things like giving newborn babies a $1,000 tax-free savings account called Money Account for Growth and Advancement, which if you didn't put that together, that is the MAGA account. With that, able to hold up to $5,000 in contributions until the beneficiary is 31 years old. And then another provision that would help middle class families is a $2,000 increase to the standard deduction, which is the baseline amount of income that filers can collect tax-free. So, that bumps the total number to $32,000 per household. And the bill would also boost the child tax credit from $2,000 to $2,500 for 4 years, but only for some families. But then also, notably, according to Brookings, because of how the credit is designed based on family income, the lowest income children, they're left out entirely or given partial credits, while wealthier families are given full credits. And then notably, in addition to that, the Republican bill would add a new requirement that limits eligibility to only parents and guardians with social security numbers. So essentially requiring people to be citizens in order to receive the benefit, which is a move that one think tank estimated would impact 4.5 million children who they themselves are citizens or legal residents. And so since this release, understandably, we've seen a lot of people talking about and debating the things that are in this bill. But I also think it's important to note one very significant measure that Republicans left out, and that is a tax hike on millionaires. Because you see, earlier this week, Trump flip-flopped on the idea, initially advising against it, but then saying that he'd be okay with it. But then, despite that, Republicans ultimately decided against increasing taxes on the ultra-wealthy to help finance Trump's sweeping agenda, focusing instead on making cuts to essential social safety net programs while taking other steps that will increase the cost of electricity, travel, and higher education. Because in addition to slashing Medicaid funds, the bill would also impose what has been described as the single biggest cut to food stamps in American history. But follow to stay in the loop.